Good morning. Okay, like this is similar to what we did in AIDE. Those who have participated there might feel this is the same as it is, but I have done some changes to the slides and the content what I'm going to talk about. First of all, you know what Menti is right now. So go to menti.com and enter the passcode and share what do you want to get out of this workshop. So just a few sentence, word, phrase, whatever, sentence, word, phrase, whatever you like. So share there so that I can see what you want and also to engage with you all. So please go and share. There's the button to submit or something there. So you have to submit whatever you type. So then only this will appear here. We have 10, right? 8 is here. So since until others submit, uh, what what I'm going to plan to do in this session, the first session, morning half, will be learning more about prompting and maybe not about specifically about automations, but we will put the background to whatever you want to learn from here. And even my personal view about AI using Gen AI is, if you know how to prompt, then all the other things you will be able to do. You can learn if you want to automate your task, you can ask from Gen AI, how do I do this? Then it will tell you how to do that. So once you have the fundamental or the basics, then even when you are learning about any other subject, if you have the fundamental, then it is easy to learn the subject, understand the subject. Like let's talk about math. We all have done math when we were in from the primary to O levels. We all learn mathematics. So if you know the fundamentals, if you know the theory, then you know how to apply to whatever the same kind of a problem you like, same kind of a math. If you know the equation and how to do that, then you know how to do it in whatever the problem you get. So as that, if you have the fundamental, if you know how AI work, uh, if you know how generative AI work, then you will understand. By practice, you will need practice. Anyway, by practice, you will understand. You will be able to be more good at using generative AI. Like, once you start working with generative AI, like you will be more attracted to it. You will see what it can do. So that's what, like, see, now we have generative AI. Before 2-3 years we didn't have any generative AI. So now we have a way of improving our work, improving our efficiency, and work smart and productive. So by the end of the session, this is what we are going to do. Uh, uh, so number one, you will learn how generative AI works. So, like as I said, if you know the fundamentals, we know how to work with that. So if you know, like, let's come to some person. If you know some person, how this person is he a good person, is he a polite person, is he a rude person, then like we know how to approach him. Like we plan how to approach. Okay, this person is like this, so I have to be like this, right? Like when you work with difficult people, that's what you do, right? That's what we are going to do here. This is not a difficult person, but when you know how this person works, how it is made of, then you know how to work with that person. So likewise, so Gen AI, if you know how it was, what it is, then you know how to work with it. So, and from that, we will be going into how to do prompting and validate the prompting. This is very important. So you have to You need to write good prompts, effective prompts to get good responses. So we will discuss, like, actually I want all of you to join with me and discuss and do these things. So this is going to be more of a discussion workshop. So then we will do some hands-on work, how to analyze documents, how to generate documents. Like you are doing this already, I know, but we'll see what we can do, where we can improve. So where we can do it more, like where we can improve and how to do it better. So now let's go into what is Gen AI. So I'm going to ask you, like, there are two parts. There's artificial intelligence, which is AI, and then generative AI. So what is AI? Anyone can give, not looking at this, but what do you think of AI? What do you see as AI is? So there's no wrong answers. Just tell, not generative AI. In simply, what is AI? What do you think of AI is? What do you think that AI is? Anyone? Otherwise, I'm going to point fingers and ask questions. What do you think AI is? Do you remember watching, maybe not the interns, a TV series called Crash Zones when you were like schooling? There was, right? Remember Churchill? Yes, that is an artificial intelligence. That is an AI. It was maybe we will not have an AI like that. That, remember, like, it has emotions even, right? It showed emotions. It did a lot of things. So that's artificial intelligence is something that humans can do, but it's a machine. So they are programmed, they are made by humans, they are machines, but they have a sort of intelligence which is we call artificial intelligence, which is different from our intelligence, right? Our intelligence is different, right? We feel emotions, we have emotions, we have real intelligences. There are different intelligences, right? We say we have like that there are people who can understand people very well. That is a different kind of intelligence. There are people who are good at light maths and those kinds, physics, those kinds of intelligence, right? Even some people are very good at music and all those. Those are different kind of intelligences humans have, and this is artificial. So what are generative AI? What is the difference in generative AI? Come on, I need an answer now. What is the difference? Okay, what else? Anything else to add? What is generative AI? Okay. What else? What is generative AI? What does the name suggest? Generative. What does it do? Makes, yes, it generates things, right? It makes things, it creates things. So generative AI is basically they generate. We are asking different things it to generate, like then it generates, right? There are videos. Generative AIs can generate different things, text like emails, documents, and then it can generate images, right? If we ask, like, give me an image of a cat playing with a ball, then it gives you an image, right? There are free, like even in Claude is free, right? Claude freely do that, does that. So if the ChatGPT paid version does that. So generative AIs, they generate things, text, images, videos, even codes, like those, like, because of these things, people are saying, okay, there will be jobs that are going to be like, people will lose jobs because generative AIs can do their job. So then that you have to develop. Now this is something else. Now you have to develop skills that generative AI cannot do. Also, to use generative AI, you will always need real intelligence. Otherwise, there's no point of generative AI. So we'll talk about it more in the coming slides. But you need real intelligence to use generative AI. So generative AI is not a bad thing. Like I know that there are people, especially educators, they think, okay, students are doing their assignments using Gen AI, right? They think it's a bad thing, but it's not necessarily bad, right? To use generative AI and to get your whatever the assignment or whatever to done, you have to know what it is, right? Even you have to know that this answer, this AI is the answer that is giving is true or correct, right? You have to know that. Otherwise, like if you go and submit it, then if it is wrong, what's the point of getting it done, right? So you have to have that real intelligence. But generative AI can do a lot of work for you. It can generate a lot of things for you. So we'll be like, since even our learn and even a lot of people are using ChatGPT. So it is like ChatGPT is one of the generative AIs, but there are a lot even from your responses. I saw you are using, especially interns, they are using a lot of AIs rather than us. They are using Quillbot, they are using Claude and some lot of other Gen AIs. I know why you are using Quillbot, but yes, that's good. You are using generative AI, that is really good. So we will be using a lot of ChatGPT, but as I said, I checked earlier how many of you have paid versions so that I can group you with paid people who have free and paid versions. So if you have money, get one. Otherwise, it's okay to use a free version, but it has limitations. That's the issue. Since you are students, it's okay. So first, like, if I ask you to fill in the blanks, think, and there's a blank, what do you say? What does come to your mind? Anything that is coming to your mind if I say think? What is coming to your mind? Think. There's anything. There's no right or wrong answer for this. For anything. So if I say think, what is coming to your mind now? No. Just if I say the word think, like let's say I'm starting to say think. So what is coming to your mind? No, no, just think, like if I say think, what will come to your mind next? Not about generative AI or anything. Just if I say the word think, what is coming to your mind? Yeah. No, if I say think and fill the blank, what is your next word would be? Word or words would be? Think. If I say think, now fill the blank. What would you fill? Anyone else? What would you fill if I say think and now fill the blank? This is not relevant to ChatGPT or whatever generative AI. What do you feel? No, I just want to answer so that I can go into the next one. Tell me, what do you feel? Think different. Yes, great, good. What do you feel? Think. You can use several different words.
Think, therefore, I heard it from someone the thought, but that is the first thing I got into my.
Okay, so what else? Renuka, what do you feel? Think. Say something. If I ask you to fill in the blanks by giving think, what would you feel? She says think different. You said think. What do you feel? There's no need to be one word, but there can be a sentence. Nothing. Okay. Now, if I put this, what do you say? Think before? Jump. What happened there? Now, if I say think first, you were thinking a lot of different things, right? So, but if once I put the word, you immediately came to jump. That is what generative AI is doing. It is filling the gaps. So what it does is it has a huge set of data given to it. So once we ask it to do something, it goes back and go into those data and bring that to whatever the interface and fill the blanks. That's what it is doing there. So that is why I said prompting is very important. What we are giving it is based on that. It is fill in the blanks based on what we are asking. Just like that, when I said think, you were thinking of lot of different things because you didn't know what to say. So you were thinking what to say. What is this person is asking? But when you go to think before, it immediately you became to jump. That's because what is happening there? Because you have that phrase or the saying, you had that in your mind, right? For a very long time, you have that, right? If I say, don't cry over, if I say, don't cry over, you say, spilled milk. That's like that. You have that in your mind. If I say, first few words of a song, a trending song, then you know what is coming next because it's in your brain. Now it's in your brain. So once you have that small effect, the small nudge or small words, even music, smells, you you're going back to something, right? Even with some smells, you're going back to something. You remember something. That is because it's in your mind. So that's how generative AI works. It has a lot of different data. That this data is in your mind. Think before jump is in your mind. It just come like that. So that is what's happening. Even with generative AI, they can have a lot of, like, we cannot imagine how much data it has, but it has been given a lot of data. Like I even asked this from ChatGPT, what is the data range you have? Like it was saying from 2010 to 2023 April, but it was saying, but I have data from even decades ago. I can give you data, or even I can search web for you to give you some information if you ask me specifically. So that's how it has a lot of data. From that data, it is filling the blanks. When we ask something, it fills the blanks. Okay, this person is asking about it. Okay, this is what I have, so I'm bringing it to the front. So that's what happens with our brain. That is the same thing that is happening. We don't have that much of data. That's why we need artificial intelligence to do our work. But we have some data in our heads, right? We have things that are like bound to our heads, that are very established, like what do you tell? I don't get a word now. So we have a lot of things. So our neurons work and it flashes and okay, that this is, and it gives out. So that's what is happening with generative AI. But usually it is taking text as usually we prompt, we text, right? We write things to generative AI, but now we don't have to actually write. Even it can read images now, right? Even if I give an image to ChatGPT, if it can read, right? If we give a flyer, it can read. Even if I take a photo of whatever if there are text, it can read, right? Even images it can read, because I have given it some logos and asked it to create, but it cannot use the same logo and create, but it read the logo and create something very different, like that. So then it process, like this information it process, then it generate responses, right? That's what it does. It takes what we are asking, then it process, like the huge data it is processing, just like our brain. It processes really quickly. That's what our neuron system does. But similar to that, it processes information, right? Even if you give 5-6 documents to ChatGPT, it processes like within minutes, right? So then it generates a response. This response is also can be a text, can be an image, can be a video, or a graph, table, whatever we ask. Like there are limitations, but it can generate different things. So this generating, it always does based on what it has learned, maybe from us, maybe from other people. That's what generative AI does. It learns from us, it learns from the users. So different people use it for different things. So it learns from all of us, and it evolves. It is always evolving. So even like, like you can have conversations with like fun conversations. There are chat generative AIs which you can use if you are lonely. Okay, like there are different things. I'll have some examples later. Okay, I'm lonely, tell me something, let's discuss about something. You can do that. That's what they are learning from us. And like if you go to your memory of your ChatGPT, it has memorized a lot of things about you. That's what it does. On the other hand, it doesn't have any opinion, or like it doesn't have feelings, it doesn't have an opinion. That is the beauty of it. Because let's say we are asked to write about a very controversial topic, and if we have a bias towards one side, let's say let's say about it, like recently we are talking a lot about politics now. Let's say we are biased to one political party, and we are asked to write something about, okay, write an article about Sri Lanka's politics. Now we will be biased to our political party, right? What is in our mind, we are biased to some place, like that. Like we as people, we have opinions, we are biased. So but generative, they are not biased. But let's say with time, it might be biased on whatever you are training it. Like depends on your personality. It knows, right? If it learns that, okay, you have a dog, okay, now it learns that, okay, this person likes dogs, like it is like that, but ultimately it doesn't have a opinion. It is not getting offended, but there are instances where it is acting differently, but that's how it is. And it is again learning from data. The people who are making these things, like now ChatGPT making by OpenAI, so they are feeding it data, and Gemini is from Google. So that's the advantage of Gemini. It is from Google, so it has up-to-date data. If you want to get up-to-date information, you better to use Gemini. So like that. So it is learning continuously, even from us. You can use it for lot of different tasks, and you have to remember that it is not perfect. As I said, it can make mistakes. So you have to be very careful using it, not to trust it blindly. So now, as I said, we have to, you can personalize your ChatGPT. Some of you must already done. If not, we can do that right now. Let's do it quickly. So go to your ChatGPT from now it's on your top right side. You can find customized ChatGPT. So let's try to customize it a little bit now, but you can go home and customize it more. Did you find it? Or do you want me to show it? On your top right, yes, top right, there's some icon. You found it? On your name or something, right? Name. Let me check. Yes, if you are logged in under your name icon or your image icon, you can find customize ChatGPT. So from there, so this is an example from John. Those who don't know, John is from the Asia Pacific University. He was there for the AIDE workshop. So now this has changed now. This is what now this is. Now it is asking questions even from you. What do you want me to be? He is asking. So based on these questions, you can ask it to, okay, this is how you should respond. Okay, this is how you should respond to me. So you can do this and you can change this. So this is asking questions, so it has become a little little bit easy. So like, give your answers. You can call me whatever this is. You need to be formal or professional, or you need to be casual. That is okay, right? If you are using it for, let's say, for you are using it a lot for social media content, that you don't need to be very formal. It can be a little bit casual or formal, so you can tell it. So this is what I'm using, but even time to time I'm changing this. So now you can do another thing. Some of you might have heard or using GPTs, right? You can create different GPTs. So like different persons in the same chat GPT. So you can have an assistant, and then you can have, if you are doing a lot of research, you can have a research assistant. And for your work, you can have another assistant. And for your social media work, you can have another assistant. Like that, you can have different GPTs. We will not have today to do that, but with time, like even you can ask from ChatGPT, how do I create GPTs? This is what I do, so tell me how to do this. So it tells you. The next one, even it is asking, now you can custom it, right? Now this is what I do. So you have to respond to me based on this. Now it is asking questions. So why do you think it is asking these questions? Why do you ask, where do you work? What do you do? What are your hobbies? So that based on this, it can change the answers it is giving. Like if I say, okay, now I have said these are my hobbies, so that if I talk about these things, or if I ask you to write something about, let's say, a book I read, now it knows, okay, now, okay, this is what she does. So, okay, I'll provide answers based on this. That is why it is asking you questions. So take a few minutes and personalize your chat GPT so that when we are going forward, when we are doing different work, different practicals, and even working, you can it would be more easier. So that if you, let's say you want to do a different thing, you are doing something very different from what you usually do, like not with this personality, then you can ask, okay, think of like this person and do this. Otherwise, always it will be assuming as you and give you responses, like create things for you. How many times minutes you want? Shall I wait until 10? You can fine tune this anytime you want. So for now, just give a brief introduction about yourself. Even I have not put these goals yet. So let's say you are doing research, then you have to always tell it, do not create things. Otherwise, what it does is, if it does not have answers or if it cannot create things you want, sometimes it, like, let's say I ask it to, okay, find me research, like give me some, this is like, I'm taking a research example, find me some research about this topic. If it cannot find this from its data, then sometimes it creates this. So you always have to tell it, or even like in the previous one, I have told it, always use an evidence-based approach to the responses. So it will be using evidences, the data it has. It will not create things for you. So let's say you want to do a literature review for research and it creates you some research, but it's not actually exist in the world. So then what you have done is really wrong, and it will be if it is found out, then you will get less marks, so you will be even get failed from your research. So you have to tell it to use evidence, or you have to specifically tell it to use only things that is actually there, if you want something that is actually there. Otherwise, let's say you are asking you to write a creative article about, let's say write something about, or if you're asking it to write a story, then it should be creating things like otherwise it will be, if it writes a story from a story that is always there, that is there. Let's say you're asking it to write a romantic story and it comes out and tell you about Romeo and Juliet. There's no point, right? You want a new story. So you have to be very specific about what you are telling it. And you expect, so let's talk about how prompting works, but keep that in mind. 1 minute left. So like, give small few answers and only cover a few things, and we can move into the next one. Save it. And so you can always go and change these time to time. So as I said, now what we did from at the first part is we have been discussing about what generative AI. So if you have any questions, or if you want to even bring things into the discussion, so do it. Like, even when I'm talking, if you have questions, if you want to contribute, raise your hand and tell. And even the personal experiences you so far you had, right? You have used in different generative AI. So if you have any experience, please share so that we can think why it happened, or we can discuss what we can do, what we can do to improve. That's the basic idea of using, like, that is the idea of this workshop as well. So I want you to involve as much as possible, so we have a very productive session. Even if you have issues, talk to me. Maybe I might not know all the answers, but we can learn and search, right? Search, learn, even we can ask from whatever the generative AI. Okay, what is happening? What is this? Someone is calling. Someone is calling the whole group. Any questions? Anything you want to discuss? Anything you have faced using generative AI? Anything you think anything you wanted to learn more about generative AI? Anything else? Nothing? No questions? Do you know what GPT means? Anybody? Have you ever thought of what it? Anyone? GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. Like that's why we call them GPTs. Different GPTs you can have. So like let me show you something. I tried something with my chat GPT, but still I also could not train it much. Even like, let me show this to you as well. This you might have seen this in chat GPT. So now chat GPT have an app as well. You can use it. So chat GPT, they have like common GPTs. People have made these GPTs. So you can use these if you like, you can search here, or let's say for writing, you can, okay, these are the some GPTs they have made. You can use these. I'm not sure whether this is available in the free version. I don't remember. So you can like here, you can create your own GPTs. This is what I have created, but I have not trained it yet very much. So you can create, if you are doing research, you can create research assistant for you. So you have to train it then. You have to do all your research work there. So what you can do is you can ask ChatGPT, okay, I want to create a research assistant GPT. Help me, how to do it? So it will give you step-by-step things to do. Like even like what is the beauty of ChatGPT is, let's say it cannot do something, then it tells you, okay, I can't do this, but this is how you do it. And these are the things available to do it. Like if you ask, okay, now you are telling me you can't do this, so where can I do this? What are the tools for this? You can ask everything from it, and if it has data, it will update you. So if you want real-time things and real-time, let's say, real-time tools or things that is updated, you can go and ask from Gemini, because it is more updated, because it is linked to Google. Even Gemini can understand Sinhala, because Google already knows Sinhala. It has Google Translator and all. So now tell me any question you want to ask from the first part? Anything you want to clarify about what generative AI is? Anything? You don't have questions? You understand everything? No questions, Ashwini? Aditi, no question? Okay, then let's come to the learning outcome 2. As I said, this is the most important part, as I feel. So, because prompting is what is needed to get things done, right? If you do a good prompt, then you get a really good response. So, there are people who have done their research dissertations done using generative AI, but they are not even there's no any issues with that. So even your assignments you can use using ChatGPT or whatever the generative AI you want to use. So the only thing is that you have to validate what it is. You have to check, read again and again. So and now when we are working, we use a lot of generative AI. Like we use a lot to work. Like when you are drafting emails, we just go and tell it, okay, this is what I want to write. Please write this for me. So it takes less time than me thinking about it and writing, okay, this seems rude. Now I have to change it again. So ChatGPT can do it for you like within seconds. So you can use. So this is what I want to tell you. Using generative AI or whatever the tools available to make your work easy, not a bad thing. It's not a monstrous thing. That time you are saving, you can use it to maybe something really creative, which generative AI cannot do. Maybe you can go and read a real book, right? That you cannot do with generative AI. To read a book, you have to read a book. Even if you want to sleep, you can go and sleep, right? You can ask it to do the work and go and sleep. That's what you want, right? You have done a lot of work so far. So if you want to sleep, you can save time and sleep, or you can go on a trip, right? That's what you want to do in the life. You don't have to work every time. You work every day, every time, every hours, right? You want to relax, you want to have fun. That's what we are going to do. That's why generative AI is there, to make your life easier, to make you more happy. Even at learn, what we are suggesting is, you should have more time to think always. You should not be always working. Then you don't have time to think. We have to use these things, so that you have time to think. Sit and think, okay, now I have to do this. Let's say Lakmal has to plan a workshop. If he has lot of other things to do, right? If he has lot of paperwork to do, then he doesn't have time to think. Actually think and plan this, right? Actually think of, okay, what to do. That is why we are doing this. So like this, I should have told this in the beginning. So when it comes to admin work, we used to call them paperwork, right? But because admin work, it has lot of paperwork. You have to do a huge, you have to keep documentation, you have to keep records, you have to write things, right? But there are tools, and even generative AI and other tools uh, that are uh, that are engineered with generative AI tools, that are working with generative AI tools, so that you can make things easy. These administration tasks, you can make them very easy, so that you can have more time to think, sit and think, right? Think, plan, like strategical things you can think. And like generative AI will not be able to think that one supplier might come on the day before the workshop and tell you, okay, I cannot give you this. That happens, right? So generative AI might not be able to predict this if it doesn't have information. But if it had information, it might be predict this way, but we don't know. But that's what you should have. You should have time to sit and think, okay, if this does not happen, what I'm going to do, right? So all of those things that cannot be done through generative AI, but the things we can do, we should ask it to do for us, so that we have time for other things. That's what the idea of using this. That is why we at Learn, we want you to use generative AI, so you can have time to think. So as I have been telling from the beginning, so the response you are getting from whatever the generative AI you are using, it depends on the quality of your prompt and the model's understanding, its understanding as well. So different generative AI models have different ways, right? You already know. So Claude is more humanized than ChatGPT. ChatGPT is very formal, right? So even Gemini is kind of more human. So when it comes to ChatGPT, you might need to ask, okay, think like me, act like a human, make it more human, like give it a more human sense. So like that, the different models are different. So the quality of the prompt is, the response you are getting is always proportionate to the quality of the prompt you are giving and the model's understanding. So what we have to do is, one thing, we have to do the prompting correctly. A good prompt we have to have, and then we should know what is the model we are using, what is we are going to use, right? We have to select what is the best for this job. Let's talk about prompting a little bit more. So this is a cycle. You have to keep this improving as a cycle. So when you write a prompt, review it, read it, and think, okay, whether this can understand this, whether what I have written is it clear to this person. So when you are going to ask something from an AI, generative AI, first think, okay, what is my ultimate goal? What do I want from this? So if you want to write a report, then you have to think, okay, my report should has these things. So that you should think, okay, what is the objective? So even when you are working, when you are asked to do something, think, okay, what is the objective of this? So when it comes to let's say, let's say, you want let's say like for not something that ChatGPT or whatever do. So let's say Lakmal wants to organize a workshop. So what is the final objective? We have to have a workshop and there should be people in that workshop, right? People should participate in the workshop. Otherwise, there's no point of organizing a workshop, right? If people don't come. So like that, when you are given a task, let's say we ask one of you to go and buy some books for learn, or go and design a notebook, design a book for learn. So then you have to think, okay, why are we designing this? Why we are designing this? We want to promote learn, we want to give it to other people. So to promote learn, then what should we do? You need to put our logo, maybe put our services, nice image, like eye-catching things. So that's what we should do. Always think what is the outcome we want out of this. What is the final expectation? Like that, when you want to get things done from an AI, think, okay, what is the final outcome I want? Based on that, start writing a prompt. Then you can like craft it, start writing it, then make it more clear, specify, make it specific, right? Then tell it, okay, you want to give me a table out of this. You want to give me a image. Tell it what you want. I want you to give a paragraph. I want you to give bullet points, right? I want you to give me content for a presentation. That's what I did. I did that. Okay, give me now, I do this, and now give me slide content for this. Now it gives me content. That's what it does. So then I have to use my real intelligence and okay, now it gives me this. This is how I'm going to present. That's the way I should do. That's where your real intelligence comes in. But you should ask it, this is what I want you to do. So be very specific. Then again read the prompt. So this is like a cycle. You have to like, when you are doing prompting, you will see this. This is always going as a cycle. So you are always doing this. You have to keep doing that so that you will get a good response. So these are some points to remember. As I said, identify the objective. This is my objective out of this. This is what I want to get. So you don't need to give all of this in one prompt. You can do a step-by-step approach, right? You can use a step-by-step approach. So like when I was doing something, like when I do some different things, let's say I wanted to review a document. Then first I ask you to read. Now summarize this to me. So then I'm asking, okay, now find this in this document and tell me what are the clauses. Let's say I'm reviewing a agreement. I'm asking, okay, now read this agreement, summarize this to me. Now tell me what are the clauses that are what are the disadvantages points to me, so that it comes and tell me, okay, these are disadvantages for you. So now that if it says it like that, I have to go and find, okay, where it is, where do it where the document has this. Then I'm asking is, okay, tell me what are the clauses, give me the pointers so that I can pick them out and go and negotiate or whatever I am doing. So you can do prompting step by step, but you have to be very specific about what you want. You have to keep in mind, this is my objective. Even if you are writing an email, that you should have this in mind. So always like don't be like very vague. Go, okay, now give it okay, this is the email, please reply to this. What will it do? Like let's say someone is asking let's say asking a meeting time from you, and you are asking ChatGPT to respond. So what is does it know that you want to say okay to this meeting or not? No. So you don't have to, you have to be specific. Okay, say yes to this appointment, or okay, now okay, these are my available time slots, give this to him. Okay, based on this, write the reply to this email, so that it will draft the reply, the context. So let's say I want to I want to do a marketing plan. So I want to ask ChatGPT, okay, do a marketing plan for sell more network connections, what would it do? Does it have context? Does it know that I want this for learn? No, right? It doesn't know. So does it know that this is for Sri Lanka? No, right? It will think about the whole world. We don't know that it doesn't know the context. What I know, what I want is actually not there. Let's say let's say something other than learn work. Okay, give me how the adverse weather affects farmers. Does it know that this is about Sri Lanka? Even in Sri Lanka, Nuvarelia's problem is not same as whatever is happening in Sambandota, right? That is very different. The context is very different. So you have to be careful about the context. And the tone, as I said, different AIs are different. Gemini, Claude, those are more casual. ChatGPT is very formal, right? The words it's used are very formal. Even like you can say, right, if someone gives you a sensor reply, you automatically sense that, okay, this is written with some AI tool. That is because it has that sense, so that you can ask it, like, if I don't care, okay, I'm sending this to these people, I don't care, I send it as it is. But if you want to, like, let's say you are working with a customer, then you have to be some kind of, there should be the formality as well as some approaching tone, right? You are, or some confidence in what you are saying, so that you have to ask it to, okay, now change the tone according to this, be more confident about what I'm telling. So you have to set the tone. Or if I'm writing a social media post, okay, be more fun, right? Social media post, like if you want to post something, that should be a little bit fun, right? Or maybe if you want to tell about something sad, then it should be sad. Like that, you have to set the tone. So, and be more like be ask direct question, like as I said, be specific, be direct, don't be very vague. And when you like as I said, we are very biased, right? We are, when it comes to different things, we are biased. So when you are telling things to and generative AI, if you don't want a biased answer, or like let's say you are doing a research, having biased answers is not good, right? If you are doing the literature review, it should be very balanced. If you are doing the discussion of the research, like the whatever the result you are getting, it should be a balanced one. So you don't have to be very biased toward whatever the outcome you wanted. That is not the objective of a research, right? You may be biased to one. Yeah,
I got an experience with that. I
speak loud.
Last time I was trying to tell him in the morning. I tell him to make some make a kind of summarization, and I texted him back with some information and to adjust the summarization. Finally, he told, "It seems you are like you are a bit biased for that specific person's paper, and but these are the real answers."
Yeah.
He can find we are biased for some.
Yeah, that it can sense. That's why they are evolving artificial intelligence, because it is learning from us. It is always evolving, so that it learned, okay, now that is a he keeps his memory. It has a huge memory. It's not like us, no, it can remember anything and everything we say. Otherwise we go and delete the memory. It has everything. Like if you go to my memory, it says, okay, this is the operations manager, she has recently got this responsibility because I have asked it to do something. She has recently joined this workshop, right? She has recently designed a curriculum, because it has, and it is updating its memory because I'm doing this and that. So so when you are asking it questions, don't be biased, so that it can give you a very balanced answer. And as I always saying, uh, test test with generative AI, especially when you are doing research and assignments and things. Use few different generative AIs. Even when you are doing proposals, whatever, you are even at work, if you have time, go to Gemini, go to Claude, go to ChatGPT and ask the same thing and see what it is giving. And you can even combine these, right? And then you can bring everything to ChatGPT or whatever you prefer and ask, okay, these are different things I got. Now put this into one and give me. Okay, this is the word limit. This is the page limit. give this, and give suitable images for me to when you are doing let's say you are doing a report on something you have done, then you can do different things. Maybe you want to do a marketing plan, then you ask different AI tools, so that it will give you different ideas, right? You can find whatever the idea you want, so you can test, refine, ask again. And this is something very you should keep in your mind. Be very ethical. Even these generative AIs, they are trained to be ethical. So if you ask it to give you images of people, then it would not give you. So some generative AIs even blur these images, faces of the people, like the actual people. It doesn't give you images. And if you go and give some person's personal data, okay, this is this person's data, now do this for me, it might not do that. Even it is not okay to do, right? You are like one person's very confidential personal data, you should not give to a generative AI tool. It's not ethical, and it is like breaching that person's privacy. So be careful of when you are using this. So different people have different I have seen different opinions of different people about confidentiality. So some are saying do not give confidential information like agreements and all, but some are saying that is okay, like agreements are confidential, but let's say you have an agreement, you want to summarize it. I also feel it doesn't keep things in his mind, because I have given one agreements a few months back, and again I have give it again. It doesn't recollect about it, anything about it. Like it was not telling me, okay, you asked me previously. Like sometimes these some generative say, I have given you answer to this question earlier, some says. So I don't think it keeps these things in his memory, and those kinds of things, I don't think it can give whatever you have given to someone else. So there's but you should be careful. Let's say you don't have to go and tell your password or whatever, or your credit card information. Don't do that. Those kind of very confidential and private information. But other than that, you don't have to worry that much about it. So you already using it for a lot of different things, so you can use. So this is I found on internet. So there are different frameworks now about prompting, because prompting has become a specific subject. Now it calls prompt engineering. So different people are saying, okay, these are the prompt engineering techniques. This is how you do a prompt. Different frameworks. So I am going to, like, this is one example I thought of giving you. Like these are the things we have been telling in different ways. When you are doing a prompt, think of these things. Like I have been telling different things. This is another different thing. So this is RISE framework. Give the role. So let's say you want to create a legal document, then you can ask it to, okay, now you act like attorney at law and give me an agreement, right? You can do that. Or you can say, okay, now act like a finance specialist and analyze this financial data. Right? If I go and because I'm not a financial person, so if I want to go and analyze some financial data, I might not be able to ask it the correct question. So I might not be able to interpret the way you do. So I can go and ask ChatGPT, okay, now these are some financial data. Now think like an financial specialist and summarize this for me, do an analysis and tell me, right? So you can give the role, like as my ChatGPT, it usually acts as me, but you can say, okay, you don't have you have to act as this person, right? You have to think like an lecturer, you have to think like a student and do this. And you have to have, like, this is the input, you have to give the specific information, data, whatever you want out of it, you can give, right? You can give data. Okay, this is the data I have analyzed this, like it. So as I said, give it, like, make it like you can, as I said, you can make it into step-by-step approach. You can break it down and ask it so that it can also easily understand. And in the way you can ask and okay, now no, don't do this, go, I'm going to change this, now change this like this. You don't have to put everything in one prompt. Or you can do this as well. You can use a Word document or whatever and start doing the prompt there, because like it's so hard to do it in a, like the chat box. No, you can do it in separate place and do it very descriptive prompting separately and copy and paste it in ChatGPT. So you can do step by step. Okay, do this, do this, do that. This is the steps you have to take. This is what I am expecting. So you can do it separate and give it. Like it would be more easy for if you are doing a huge prompt. So as I said, think of what you are expecting, what is the objective, and ask it to do that. And what is the expected outcome looks like. Maybe it can be a table, image, even video. There are tools that can give you, even there are free video tools. You can create videos by giving simple prompts, a script or whatever you like. So this is one framework. You can go to Google or you can even ask from ChatGPT, whatever the generative AI you prefer, and you can ask what are the frameworks available, and you can learn, you can research, and like using generative AI is kind of what I believe is kind of self-learning thing. You can learn, you can self-learn and do it. So this is going to give you some foundation, I hope. So what I want you to do is, when you have time, go and research it, talk to it, and learn these different things. So these are some examples. These are from the same AIDE presentation I used it. These are different prompts. You can see the bad ones, right? These are very vague. You don't know. You say that it is asking predict the future of the banking sector. You don't know in which banking sector, right? In which country, where in the world. Even in banking sector, you know, right? There are different things. So you do it doesn't know what this person is asking. So these are some examples. I'll give you this and you can read them in your free time. These are again some, like when you are, this is very important. If you are doing a prompt and you get a result, the most important part is, as I said, validate it. Read it and see, okay, whether this is correct, whether this is the output I wanted, right? Like, let's say you want a proposal, write about maybe let's say you want to write a proposal about the financial financial, how to do investments. You want to write a proposal for learn. Okay, learn to you are asking us to do investment based on this proposal. If you give us, if you don't validate it, what happens? We will be investing in bad businesses, right? Bad places. So that is why validating is very information. So you have to give correct prompt, efficient, good prompt, and then you have to check, okay, whether this is relevant to learn, whether this is relevant to the data I gave, whether this is accurate, what this proposal, what is it saying is accurate. Does it have good content, good context? And sensitive review is like, sometimes different cultures have different beliefs, right? So if it gives you a different, like not in a financial per se, but let's say you are writing an article about a cultures in Sri Lanka, then it might have things that offend different cultures, right? Let's say someone is criticizing the way some some religious activities. We also criticize, different people is criticizing the Salapera, right? Using elephants and all. So this can be offensive to some people. So you have to check whether, like, it depends on whatever you are doing, but you have to check, okay, whether this is sensitive, whether this is offending some person. So and then you have to refine it, you have to improve it. The whatever you are getting, you have to improve it. Even ChatGPT suggests, right? Now this is what I'm giving you. You are free to change this, right? Even, but maybe you can do this then. So sometimes what we are getting, let's say we are thinking to write an email, so we go and sometimes change few different things, right? Maybe you can show it to ChatGPT, okay, this is you. Okay, you gave me this. but I'm using, this is my version of it. So maybe it improves next time, right? Okay, this is how I prefer to have it. Maybe it says, okay, now I have given this person a very formal email, but this person has go and made it a little bit casual. So I'll be a little bit casual next time. So you can do that. So as I said, this is very important. Validate the response, whatever the response you are getting. So when you go home, when you are doing a assignment, let's say you have a statistical sum analyzed, right? You have to check whether it has given correct data, right? Correct analysis, the numbers are correct. You have to check. Otherwise, you can't submit that assignment. Same to anything else, same to whatever. Let's say Lakmal has developed a tool, develop AI with the help of AI. You develop something to assign accommodations, but you have to check, right? The outcome. If it has, let's say it has put a lady and a gent in one room, you cannot accept that. No, you have to validate that. So you have to keep this. This is like a rule of thumb. You always have to validate whatever you are getting. You have to read it, even if it is an email, you have to read it and okay, this is what I wanted to tell to this person. You have to read and validate. You have to do it every time you do something with generative AI. That is, I said, generative AI is making your work easy, but if you don't have the real intelligence, then you cannot use it. That's where real intelligence coming. So that's why I said it's okay to use it for assignments. Maybe in future the lecturers will realize this. Okay, whatever we do, these people use generative AI. So what will we do? They can ask you to give the prompt, right? So that they can see, okay, this is the prompt this student has given. It means the student knows the basics, right? The ultimate idea of learning is you have learned whatever were taught, right? So if you have learned it correctly, then you know what to prompt. So maybe in future they will ask you to give the prompt. Then it would be easy, right? So anyway, things will evolve because we cannot say no to generative AI. It is now each and every person is using, even so even like I have seen a lot of data that research papers and those kinds of things getting like publishers and those kinds of things have improved a lot due to generative AI. So there can be a lot of differences in the world due to generative AI. So people will adapt. People will change the way we think. Like we think generative AI is really good thing because I can do my work very easy. That's what all of you want to do your work more easy, more productive, be more efficient and effective, so that you have time. Like we know that I have seen a some result that the work stress is very huge among Sri Lanka, among world. That is because we don't have time to ourselves, time to our family, because we have a lot of work to get done. So now, like even in our context, a lot of people don't even have babies, right? That is because they don't have time to do that. The time to do that in the sense, time to have a baby. It's a huge commitment. So having these kinds of things will make our lives easier, right? We will have time for something else. Even when you are working, you should, like, you are expected to do some educational things for yourself. So you need to find time. That is why we need generative AI. That is why we should use. But you have to always remember, you have to always validate whatever you are getting. Otherwise, you will get like when I was using procurement guideline, it is not that accurate, because the procurement guideline, some places the original one, some places it has, this is suppressed by something. So maybe it cannot read it. Or sometimes it is not sometimes even it might not be able to understand the language there. It is a kind of a different way, like it has written in a very different, it is English, but it's kind of maybe there's an issue. So that's what I'm telling. So the validating is very important. That's why I said when it says this clause is disadvantageous for us, okay, tell me what is the clause so that I can go and read it and validate, okay, whether these are actual disadvantages for us or not, because it has given some clauses which are actually it should be in the agreement, but it is saying it is disadvantageous for us. So there are things like that. That is why validating. If I go and say, okay, these clauses are disadvantageous for learn, please remove them, then there's no agreement. It's like that. So you have to have your real intelligence and validate this. It's why you cannot use generative AI or this artificial intelligence if you don't have real intelligence. So be careful, validate each and every response you are going to use. Otherwise, you can ask, no, this is not what I want, do this, do that, change this. Now I want to do this and ask it to do. These are also the similar things in different ways. So just a small thing, find an email you have received and ask it to write a prompt and ask to reply to it. Draft a reply email. Let's do this activity so that we can discuss about your prompting, whether these are good prompts, what is to be improved. We can discuss so that find an email you have or a fake email you find in the internet or letter. Write a response using like copy paste the email or whatever to ChatGPT or any other generative AI you like to use. Copy it and ask, you do the prompt asking it to craft a reply. So you can go to Menti and in the next slide you can share the prompt. Lakmal, you have to find an email and write ask one of the Gen AI to ask a reply to it. So you have to share that here. So ask ChatGPT or whatever you are using to draft a reply for it. So when you are going to share, what you have to do is go to ChatGPT or whatever, and this is share link. You don't have to share the prompt like copy and paste it. Just share the link. You can. This is share. You can create link. It is copied, and you can go to Menti and copy and paste it there. This is an agreement. You don't spend your time on this. Let's discuss a little bit about, because even from another person's prompt you can learn. That's why I want to share the prompt so that we can discuss. Any comments on the prompt and the reply got? Is it a good one? Vote. Is it a good or bad? Vote. Raise your hand. It's good. What do you think? Is it a good prompt or good? Hands up. Is it a good? Is it good? Hands up if you are saying it's good. Based on this is the email she has received. So it's a small email. So this is the prompt. So what do you think? Is it good or bad? No, let's discuss. We can learn. So no, it's not to say, okay, what you have done is wrong. It's not that. But we are always improving, right? So what we want to do is that's what I said, we can learn even from others, even from others' prompts. So for me, this is good. This is a small email, short email. She does want to say that we are doing this, right? We are doing this later and be patient. That's what you want to say. And it is saying that. So it's in a nicer way, right? If you have written this, you would not be able to do that, right? Yeah, that's what it does. So it's a good one. So I want all of you to join the discussion, so that I'm having a huge thread. When it comes to this kind of issue, what you can do is, do not stop the prompt from there. Press here return on the Mac keyboard, and you can put the email copy there and then enter, so that it doesn't give you this unnecessary, like it is okay. Or you can say, okay, do not generate until I give you the email. So sometimes it becomes stubborn and do that. So then you don't have to have this unnecessary prompt, but unnecessary response, but that's okay. So what do you think of that prompt? So this is the prompt. Is it good, or is it okay, or is it bad? What do you think? Now I'm going to ask from each and every person. Aditi, what do you think of this prompt? Is it good? So see the response now. Even if Lakmal was not asking, it is thanking, right? Thank you for following up. That something we like. He doesn't think of that, right? When he's prompting, but ChatGPT is doing that for him. So in the professional context, this is something we should do. So let's say Lakmal wants to do something, not to reject that, but Lakmal wants to show the excitement of the offer. He gets a good offer. So you can ask ChatGPT, okay, show the excitement and respond, right? Then it responds. It is like that. So this is very small task we are doing, and we are getting really good responses, and we are realizing, right? It is good. So what do you think of this? Renuka, what do you think of this prompt? Yeah, it's a good one, right? So looks like we are doing good at prompting. So because to save time, so go with your friends and discuss. Now you know what is generative AI, right? We have learned, we have discussed, we have shared some experiences, and now we have done some prompting as well. Like think of it as what it is to you. Is it a friend to you, like that? Think of it as like this is okay. This is like what is generative AI, like what is you think of it. But what it is to you, see what it is to you. It's a helper. It supports us. That's what it is to us, right? To you, it is a helper or assistant, like a never assistant which never gets tired. If it's a paid version of whatever, it never gets tired, right? You can keep asking question whole day. It doesn't get tired. That's what it is. So it took my creativity. It can be, but let's say you want to write an article or an essay. Let's say it's about Sri Lanka. So you want to write an article about Sri Lanka. What would you ask ChatGPT? Would you just go and ask, okay, write me an article about Sri Lanka? Is that what you're going to ask? No, right? You will be asked, yeah, it's a one response. Yes, that's what it took my creativity. It's a one response, right? No. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, another level. Then that's good. Yeah, that's true. You are thinking different now, right? You are very creative about. Is there anything else that has happened to that happened to that? Like that has separated? Like this one, it took my creativity to another level. That's a one sensor. Let me check whether I can change this. Anything else you wanted to, like this, it took my creativity to another level is one sentence. Anything else that you have added that has been changed like that? No. Collaborator in creative is it the part of a sentence? So I'll try to change this later, and it has happened. It has become a friend. Good. Now we have all the responses. So yes, different people can look at these as different ways. Like for me, it's an assistant. I'm using as an assistant. I'm asking it to do different things from me, like an assistant or a helper. So thank you. So I'll try to make it a different way and showcase later. So let's move into our presentation. So we have due to the time issue, we are not going to look at each and every prompt, but looks like you have a good done. So from the practice session on, we could look at some of the prompts you have done. So far they were good. So let's move into more difficult work. So not difficult, but more comprehensive, and that you need to do more prompting. So this is going to be our learning outcome 3, how to analyze documents. So we will be analyzing. That's why I asked you to maybe have some documents of your own if you have. Otherwise, I also have shared one huge Excel sheet. So you might already know this, right? Generative AI like ChatGPT can analyze data, like especially data in different forms, but like huge huge data sheets it can analyze. So like let's say like this is like a lifesaver for us, right? Like you are a stat student, so you know how hard it is to analyze data. So even if you have done a research in your university time, you know it's so hard to analyze data. These finance people, it's so hard with lot of different financial data. But if you know, like that's why we have a data engineering, data analyzing, and business analyst, different job roles in different organizations, because data is very important and data analyzing is more very important, right? By analyzing data, we can take different decisions, we can get different ideas, we can predict. So now generative AI is here. It's like, no, now you don't have to have a separate data engineer. Maybe like the jobs like data engineers will not be that will not be that often necessary in future. We will now usual people like us will be able to analyze the data we have, so we don't need a data engineer. So Aparna is not here. So then again, like you can, on the other hand, if you have a document, you can ask like, okay, you have a agreement and you have Sri Lanka's laws and regulations. You give both of these to ChatGPT and ask, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Check with the Sri Lanka's laws and regulations, maybe intellectual property laws and regulations. Check this and see whether this is okay, whether it's legally accepted. So like that, you can compare two different documents. Sometimes I do, sometimes when I have two versions or some document, a document client shared, like some service provider, someone shared earlier. Now they are coming back with a different document. Now I go and ask ChatGPT or whatever I'm usually using ChatGPT. So I ask ChatGPT, compare these documents. Tell me what is changed. Now this is the previous one. This is the new one. Tell me what is changed. This to it does just take few minutes, not even minutes, right? So if I do it, I would even take a day, right? Read two different documents and mark the differences. It's so hard. So you can do this. You can analyze data. You can monitor, review existing documents. You can do a lot of different things. So as I said, you can analyze a huge data sets using generative AI. These are the things you can do, right? As I said, you can give a document and ask, please summarize this to me. You can give a data set like let's say a data set like financial data. Now analyze this and show me like analyze this based on this, right? And you can visualize. You can ask ChatGPT or whatever to, okay, now this is the data, now analyze this. Okay, now this is it. It says you this is the outcome. Now visualize it. Give me a nice pie chart. Give me a nice bar chart. It will give you. So then again, yeah, like you can ask it to check documents for you. Like as I said, you can ask for differences. You can ask for changes. You can ask like all these things like this. As I said, you can ask it to prepare your slide decks based on the document you have given. Now turn this into a PowerPoint presentation. Like this, you can ask it to prepare diagrams, comparisons, maybe even this. I have experienced this personally. Sometimes when we are asking it to do things, it comes with things that even I have not think of, right? That happened to you as well, right? When you ask it to prepare a document or a proposal or whatever, it gives you things that you have even not planned of doing, but now you are okay, this is this. This is really good, right? I didn't think of that, but this is good. So let's quickly move into the analyzing part as soon as possible. So like I use this to show you this. This is where you attach documents in ChatGPT, but in Claude also you can do this, but it has a limitation. So take the, maybe we all can take that Excel sheet I have shared. So give it to ChatGPT or the others. You can use Claude and ask it to give you a summarization of data, and like you can, but make sure you prompt carefully. Just first have a look at the Excel sheet, what it is, and you can ask it to summarize it for you in a, like finance people may want to have a different view about those data, right? And maybe the other admin operations people, maybe PUMI wants to have a different view about that data set. So based on that, ask it to summarize it. Let's see what it gives us. You got that Excel sheet, right? The finance sample data something. No, I have shared it in an email. Okay, let me share the data set in the WhatsApp group. Those who have not received it, let me share it again. You download this data set from, you can't see my screen. Download this from the WhatsApp group, financial data set. This is a really, really big, it has about, the columns go up to P and rows, there are about 700. Yes, 701 rows. So a huge data set. You can, if you go there, you can see there are countries, there are like these are like how many sold, how many, there are different kinds of like there's a huge data set. So based on your job role, based on what you do, you can ask ChatGPT or whatever generative AI tool you use to analyze it for you. Like ask it to summarize it first and see what it gives. Found it? Ask for a summary. Based on your prompt, it will give you the summary. So think what you want out of it. As a summary, what you want out of it, think. So be specific so that it would not give you a huge set of data. So if you are done with the summary, now like you can understand and you can see that it can summarize. Like if you are going to read it or if you're going to summarize it, you would not be able to do it with minutes, right? So now see whether you can analyze it. Maybe you can ask it to analyze and predict. So see whether what it can give you, right? By analyzing it. PUMI is having a nice diagrams, pie charts, bar charts using ChatGPT. Or this is a learn document, right? But it is giving out a lot of nice information. Ask it to predict something. So to maybe what would be, like you are using some payments, right? Payments, maybe predict the future payment, maybe for a month, for a 12 months, or for 6 months, something like that. Even using this data set, you can ask it to maybe predict using this data. It has different countries' data. Ask it to predict. Okay, give me a prediction of the next 6 months, like that. You are using that document. Yeah, give me some. Okay. Now we are analyzing it. This is the summary, right? So you have the three versions, right? Ask it to maybe whether it can give you a visualization of maybe country-wise profit or something. It can give. I can do more and yeah, because maybe it's free. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. It is asking you to create, yeah, it is giving you the code to do that. Yeah. See, that's what it does. If it cannot do something, then it gives you some other options. So that's the beauty of GenAI. So maybe try with Claude. Maybe whether the free version can, I'm not sure whether it can visualize, or maybe ask it to predict some future data, right? Or you want to ask like the third one, specific details. You can ask it to grab me the data from the USA, or grab me the data from the Canada. What is the profit I'm getting from Canada? So like that, if it was a real scenario, this would be very useful, right? You can do this too. Like when you're working with these things, you realize how interesting that it is, how easy you can do. So in work, actually we want to do this for a while. We have so many data, but we are not using it, right? So we should do that, because this is when we started giving it. So based on that, it is also predicting that this will. But let's say we give them all the information we have about the universities, then it might give us a different result. Also, maybe we can say this many of universities. Yeah, like if we have those data and if we give this data, maybe we can have more realistic number. So this is the staff, this is the academic staff we have in the university. So this is how they used to use it. Maybe we can give the usage of the free data, but even if maybe it cannot predict, because we don't know how much money the universities have, but even this is good, right? This might not be realistic, but if we have like real-time data, realistic data, then we will have a really good visualization. 1 year data, yes, if we had about 4-5 years, then we will have a really good graph. Maybe we should try this with network connection details. Yeah, it is for about, yeah, we have from about 14-15 years now. We have the changes of the connections, everything. Maybe we should give that to it and ask, okay, now predict how many connections we will have in the next year, new connections. How many new members we will have, like from this year, we did not have only one new. So, but previous years we have a few new. So, but even like the number of members, that depends on the services we like. Because of Zoom, people came and asked about Learn a lot. Even we can tell now this year this happened because of that. If we like, let's say we create a separate GPT with all the data about Learn. This is Learn GPT, and give all the data, the Zoom data, when the source, what happened with COVID, and what are the membership, uh, what are the connections we have, then maybe we will have a good visualization. We'll try that later. Claude, you got a summary. So I'm looking at like everyone, the first summary seems similar. So then, oh, nice one. This is yours, you are from, right? Relationship between unit price and the sales of Caratera. See, that's an, what happened? Why is giving this horizontal? Ah, why is that happening? Why it is going back and coming up? Maybe we should ask it to use data from these columns and do this, right? Unit price and sales. Unit price and this is happening because let's say for the same unit price, it has different sales records. That is why it is happening. So maybe we should do, it doesn't understand the concept of like that. I don't remember the words. Like when we have different like those dots in, like we do that average or whatever that line we draw, that when we have like when we cannot bring them to one line, we like draw line in between. I don't remember the word for that. Maybe we should ask it to do something like that rather than going back and forth. So that happens because these data are also from different years. So unit price has changed also based on the unit price. Maybe you can do this. Now separate these for the unit price of 50 USD or whatever. What are the sales of different years? So see whether what's in the document. Maybe it's because unit price has changed time to time. So the maybe you can say it. So the unit price does not have a definite relationship with the number of pieces sold, right? Or maybe you can be more specific about ask the question. Maybe different units were sold in different countries for different prices. That can also be the reason, right? You can change the prompt and see what it is giving. Like you can even ask it, this is not a good diagram, why it is happening? Ask it and see what it is saying. He might say, okay, this is a fault of your day prompt or the data, but in a nicer way. So while you are doing this, you can do the same for the text document as well. So when you are started doing these kinds of things, you are getting addicted. So you are losing the time. So I was going to ask you to upload a document. If you have a large document, maybe a set of guideline instructions, an agreement, something, and try the same. Maybe you can ask it to summarize. And so share the link with me, but I have seen you are doing. So let's skip that and move into the other part. So I was going to do, like as I said, we can analyze existing documents as well as we can create documents and we can customize documents and we can generate content. As I said, you can generate images, videos, articles, whatever you want. So you can generate different things using ChatGPT or whatever generative AI. So even let's say tools like Canva, they also have generative AI included in their product. So even Zoom, they have included Zoom. It summarizes, it takes meeting minutes, right? So you can read it and change it as you want. If we conduct a meeting in English, then it types it down and give you. Now you can change it the way you want then and share them. So Andrea's job is getting easier. So it's like that, different. Like now, we know that the other providers, they know we are not going to survive without having Gen AI. So now the Microsoft, they have Copilot. So if you have the Microsoft paid license, then you can have a Copilot and make your life more easier. Like you can automate Outlook and make your communications more easy. So now actually this is what I'm going to ask you to do as a group activity, to do a policy document. I also I wanted you to let's take about 15 minutes and do this because we have to finish this by 12. Now it's almost 12. So you can you have the paid version, right? You have, Nimesh, you have the paid version. Okay, there are paid version. Okay, now you four can become 4 groups. These two, there are people in 2 groups, and you can do. You can let's divide this into different ones. No, let's have 3 groups. So you can generate 3 groups as you wish. Number one thing we are going to do is one group. Let's say this group. Oh no, I'll give another one to you. Andrea's group. Whoever joins with Andrea, you should do an email policy for Learn. So this is what Learn is going to do with email. So you can think of, we have been having some discussions about it, like how to address others and how to change subject of the email when it comes to long threads and whom to include, whom to exclude, how to share, what to forward, what not to share with others, right? Like that, you can think a little, brainstorm with the group members, and I will share this these prompts also. I got this from the original presentation, and I changed some a little bit, so that you can give this prompt and what you specifically want in the specific areas, and ask ChatGPT to create an email policy for Learn. So since your ChatGPT already knows what Learn is and some things they know, no? So that it would be more supportive for you to do that. So since you are doing a lot of emails on behalf of others as well, yours would be better for doing this. So Andrea's group can do this, and Lakmal's group, you can do this. You can create a report for a workshop using this. Maybe you can use that AIDE data. That's why I asked you to find that. Use that data and ask ChatGPT to give that data. And maybe you will need to give more data. So when you are prompting, tell it, okay, this is what I want to do. Like you can change this prompt. This is you, Andrea, you can change this, whatever you want, the prompt. I'll share this in the group. So what you can ask, you can change the prompt. Also, you can ask it to, if now we are going to give it an Excel sheet of data. You can ask it, okay, now if you don't have enough information in the data I'm giving you, let me know, so I'll give it to you. If you don't have that data, then you can exclude that data, right? So you can do that one. The others, we have to find another. Now based on, we need the email policy to do that, and let's find another one to do that. Is there anything you want to create a policy on? Finance team, petty cash. Okay. Now Aditi also come to this group. Create a policy on how to use petty cash. Susit also come to that, because you are Susit, like that. We are using a lot of petty cash now. So come to that group. You can create a policy using how to use petty cash. Andrea, you will be having a guideline, not a policy. Guideline you can create. These people, they will be creating a policy for petty cash. For Learn. Let's try to do it within, like, let's have the first sketch within 12-15, and let's, like, within a week or so, let's refine it and let's discuss. Let's find a time to discuss, and let's try to do it for real. Let's have it for real, so we can finish this. While you are doing that, because we have run out of time, I'm giving you this. I'll share the email, so you know. Finance people can join this group. Susit also can join this one. Kasuni, Ashwini and all, you can work with Lakmal. Because the workshop one, there are infographics that are needed, so you can support with what to ask and what to prompt to get the line visualization of data. So you guys can work together. I'll share the presentation in the group. I have shared the presentation in the WhatsApp group, so you can get it from there and do it. I'll come and support. So once you have done the prompting, share the link here. Session 3, session 2 is that data analyzing one we did, but I came to you and looked at, so I didn't ask you to share. But when you have time, share it here as well from the data analyzing prompts, the links. And for this one, share your link here. So I'll also come and have a look at what you are doing. Maybe you can ask, what do you mean by internal, external exactly? What do you think? Learn internal? Learn like external to learn? No, is it like department wise? So like that is our issue, no? We discuss within ourselves. Now we are asking this team to respond within this time now, but we are within learn. But to you, they are external. That can happen. So this one we are going to impose. This guideline we have to like share, because we have been telling this to this time to time, but it is better to have a guideline so that we don't have to say to the next person who is coming. We can say, okay, now you have to address by the last name plus Mr., Mrs., Professor, whatever, when it comes to especially academics or a higher ups. But when it comes to some people, like some suppliers and people we become like our acquaintance, and so those people you can talk by first name, like based on their culture. Like let's say we are working with the private company like DMS. They use usually first name culture. But if you are sending an email to higher up, even in DMS, you may use Mr. Mrs. and the surname. Like that. We have to be more specific, but let's put the foundation here. Then we'll change it and revise it time to time. And we can have a finalized version within a maybe few weeks and share it with everyone. We can show it to the board and everyone. So like think of what do we want out of this guideline. We want everyone to have a nicer way of sending emails. The people who are getting it, like let's say we are sending an email to a VC. So maybe we should, if we are sending it, we should say sir. But if Professor Roshan is drafting it, maybe Professor the surname. Like that. It depends on the sender and the receiver. So we have to think of that, and like we'll put the foundation here now. So, but if we have a guideline, then no one, like we are getting different, not complaints, but we time to time we are asked to do this and that. But if we have it in the guideline, we don't have to say it to each and every person who is coming to learn. Only not this, but we have to do more. But let's start from here. Even this petty cash policy, we should have to have it in some kind of an employee guideline. So we can do it. We can put the foundation today. Shall we put the limits as well, like the upper limit of the petty cash? You have it there. Okay. From that you are asking it to prepare the guideline. So the limit is 5,000. Oh. Immediate. See whether you can make it to a policy, like guideline. A policy is a different thing. No? Like the policy should be that this is the policy. This is how you, like guideline is a set of instructions how you are doing it, but this is the law behind it. The policy is that this is the petty cash limit a person can do. Otherwise, there's this process. Like ask it to do a policy from it so that it will give you a policy out of it. It is suggesting train as a, now you can remove these parts. We don't need a training on this. No, you can, okay, when you're actually doing it, you can remove that part. We don't need the training part, but you can decide you should submit the request within this amount of time. Otherwise, we are not giving it. We are not reimbursing you. Can you share the link? Like even if you're updating, I can see it later. So please share the link. Also on the other slide, you can just give your feedback. But I'll be sharing another document to share your feedbacks. Until now, just to maybe we can improve our next, maybe if we do another session, we can improve. I can improve. So give your responses as well. Maybe like since we can update this and do this for email/letters, email and official letters guidelines, so that even for official letters we can do the same. Like when you are writing a letter, this is how you should address, this is how the salutation should be, this is how the subject should be, right? Like when we are in different companies, we have guidelines to how to use the email subject, because even if I leave, if you leave, the others can find it because there's a structured way. So let's improve this. This is really good for, like we did within, not even we spent half an hour for this, right? That is how you can share the prompt link here, Andrea, the prompt, so that even us, we can have a look at it, and even we can learn, right? Looking at others prompts, we can learn, because there are people who can do really good prompts, right? When you are giving, like I could not show this to you, like when you are giving documents, first always ask it to read it. Like when you have a lot of questions to ask, first ask it to read it, and then start asking questions. I was analyzing big documents. First, you can ask it to read, and then go and check it again and again and ask questions. However, you can check whether what Aparna prepared is similar to this, the numbers and everything, right? Like Aparna had to spend a lot of time doing the report, the analyzing data back then, right? And you did a lot of manual work. So if we had this, we could have done very easily, right? And if you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, we can discuss about this in the next session. So next session is focused more on process mapping and re-engineering. But I hope that you will be able to use the knowledge. I hope you have at least learned something new today. I hope, because I know you all are using generative AI and some of you even joined the AIDE workshops initially. So I hope you all have learned something new. And so, yes, I agree with that. We needed more time. So we'll try to have another session soon, because I know that you also are very busy. That's why otherwise I would have planned this for the whole day, and there's another part we have to done separately. So we'll try to have another session, and let's do more hands-on. Good morning, everyone. So we'll be doing this in English for a different reason. Otherwise, we could be. But if you want to speak in Sinhala, you can just inform you too, because you two are new. So the first session we did previously. So I want to do a quick recap. So I want all of you to go to Menti and menti.com. Let me the screen use this code and join. Use, so you can see 842613. Type your answer and submit. Like, what is AI? Not the first question is what is AI? Sorry, what is artificial intelligence? I will answer that. Those who have attended the other day, we have discussed this for a long time. But I just want you to give your response. Then let's have a small discussion before we go into our work we started. Short answers are enough. Just short answers for this artificial intelligence. Don't worry about whether it's right or wrong. Just tell me what is your understanding about artificial intelligence. I'm not going to say this is the right answer, this is the wrong answer. No, I just want to recap what we discussed. So I'm just laying some foundation so you can give your answers. Yes, so this has, like, what we have discussed is here in different ways. So artificial intelligence is like human-like simulations, right? So there are machines, but they are like humans. They think, they make decisions for us, they learn, and then they can process information. They are like doing natural language processing. Like, these are technical things. Even I'm not a technical person, but if we put it simply, they are like humans, but they are processed or programmed to think. Like, they are simulated to act like humans. So then, what is generative AI? It's 20, right? Yes, generative AI is a subset of AI, right? It can generate data instances, like it can generate text, images, videos, even codes, right? That's a subset of AI. So have you ever, like, I just wanted to compare AI and Gen AI. So have you ever thought the difference between the how YouTube or Netflix or those, like, you get suggestions from there, right? You get like it has an algorithm, and with that, then how generative AI, like, what is the difference between them? The artificial intelligence behind YouTube or Netflix or the generative AI. Have you ever thought of that? So I'm just telling you this to show you the difference. The algorithm or the AI algorithm, which is behind YouTube, it suggests to the same thing you like, right? When you start watching indie songs, then it suggests the same content, right? But
can it generate you content? Can YouTube generate you? No, right? That's the difference between that, like just the AI and generative AI. Generative AI can generate you things, right? If you want a story about something you like, you can ask it to even write you a story. That's what the difference, right? So, like just to like I thought of taking this to keep refresh your memory and also to give you some background. So AI is, as we said, it's a simulation, like human-like simulation. But generative AI, it creates things for us. If we ask it to create, then it creates, right? Like usual the generative AI platforms we use, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, those platforms, they work on prompts. Text prompt we give, right? We can give a prompt and it creates a video, image, like video. There are different tools. We are not going to go about it here, but they create those, like even like Claude, the free version can even generate images for you. So there are AIs that you can use for maybe academic reasons, like academic writing, and there are AI generative AI tools you can use for research work, for weather data, different generative AIs, and also AIs are there, right? So there's so that's what AI and generative AI. You already know these things, right? You are using them so much for your day-to-day work. Even maybe you have done assignments and everything using generative AI. So that is okay. That the other day we were discussing. So to go to that point, we will need the next part. But the other day also we were discussing to make use of generative AI. We have to have a real intelligence, right? So we should so to write a good prompt, we need to have real intelligence, right? So that is why, so we were talking about the other day, how we how we should use it, how to prompt, how to validate, all those things we discussed the other day. So I'm going to refresh this. So until this is, you two cannot give answer this give an answer to this question, but the others take about 1 minute and give your answer. What is the main takeaway point from the AI Leap session, the previous session? So give your answer as quick as possible. So what are the generative AI tools you have used? ChatGPT, I remember I was asking in the interview. Others say, have you ever tried like AI? Others you can do AIs that can where they can do, let's say, for network monitoring, those kinds of things you have not tested yet. We are in the process of looking, we want to find things that can even support network monitoring, those kinds of AI. I was in some conferences and they were talking about different tools, but with the development of AI, that will happen anyway. If there are different, it is because we don't know what to use, but there are. So in our this workshop, we are mainly focusing on ChatGPT because for this workshop is for administrative purposes. Because even if you are an engineer or whatever, even you are a teacher, if you are a teacher, you will have to do some administration work, right? You will have to do some documentation anyway, right? Whatever the job you do, you will have to, right? So that is why we are doing this AI. We have done this AI Leap session previously with the Asia Pacific University. They came to Sri Lanka and we did a series of workshops, and this is one of the modules we did. So the importance of administration work is it's most of the people, it's also a headache, right? Doing paperwork, we are used to call them paperwork, it's a headache, right? Doing documentation, we do the thing, but we hate to do the documentation part. So that is why we want to find ways, so that now we have generative AI, so we want to find ways to make it more easier, right? Find tools that can make our lives easier, make this documentation part easier, so that the idea of using generative AI in these things, we want to increase our productivity, we want to do work smart, work efficient. So the other day when we were discussing, we were discussing how generative. What do you think of generative AI? So there were different responses. So it has given you new creative ideas, and you can use it as an assistant. So there are a lot of different things we discuss. Even you can the original AI video is also on our YouTube channel. You can go and watch if you have time, both of you. So this is the original one. So I have made some changes to the original presentation and did it. That original presentation was done by Jonathan and Fahd from the Asia Pacific University. They are a team of, they are under the UNESCO chair of the Asia Pacific University, Malaysia. So they are doing these kinds of, they are doing a lot of Gen AI and education related work, doing innovative designs. They are doing innovative education. So let's go back to how what is their main responses. Effective prompting is. Yeah, we focus more on effective prompting the other day, and also I have shown how to personalize your own ChatGPT. So you can you can go on your right side of the like where your name icon, like in your ChatGPT. Have you quickly log into ChatGPT as well? So in your right side, you can personalize your ChatGPT. I'll show later how to do. I'll come to you and show you how to do that. So yes, like I see prompting several times. So yes, prompting is very important. We discussed the other day, because having a good prompt is the main like the base. Like your prompt is the response you are getting will be based on your prompt, right? So effective prompting is very important. We discussed about it about half an hour the other day, right? How to write effective prompting, there are different frameworks to write effective prompting. So we'll discuss about this. I'll show you how to do that later. So now I want to do a small group work. I was hoping the other two others would be here by now, but until they come, I want, let's say Susit, I want you to teach Charmika about how to write an effective prompt and why response validation is important. You have to teach him. I'll give you five minutes, like you a short, like what you have learned, tell him. And maybe you can tell him about a framework we discussed. Like I have shown you different frameworks, but you can show him one. We use the RISE framework. I hope you remember. If not, I share thank you. Come. Okay, now Andrea is also here. So Andrea and Susit can teach Chamika about effective prompting and response validation. Take about 5 minutes. Teach him. And Lakmal, you guys teach Imanvi how to write effective prompts and how to do response validation. Like why response validation is important, you have to tell her. I'm going to ask the question from those two. So you have the presentation, right? I shared it in the group. Let me share it again. If you want, you can refer it. Let me share it. Okay. Chamika, tell me how to write an effective prompt. If you are uncomfortable in English, you can tell in Sinhala. No, just out of your mind, you can tell. Like.
Four main steps. Then we have a filter role. So we'll give some responses based on that. Then we have to give the input. So then we have to give the instructions to follow. To follow steps to take. You have to give value, and then you have to specify the output.
Yes. So that is the RISE framework. So that example we took, but I have showed them there are a lot of other frameworks for prompting as well. So we have used RISE in other presentation as well. So I only discussed about it. So that basically even the other frameworks, they tell the same thing in different way. So like when we do a prompting, we have to tell it what we want, right? The role it has to play. Like when I usually, like now I have personalized my ChatGPT, but otherwise let's say I want to write an agreement, then I would say, okay, imagine that you are a attorney at law and do this, right? We can assign a role to it. So you can say, okay, imagine you are me and do this. Or imagine you are a sports person and write an article about cricket, right? Like that, we can define the role. So when we have to give this specific information, so if you have, like, let's say you want to do some analysis about a data from a workshop. So then you have to give the data and you have to give the details about the workshop, how it happened, why it happened, when it happened, all those data you have to give. Then you have to do a step-by-step approach. Like when sometimes when I give it big huge documents to read and give me some, let's say I want a summary out of a huge document. Then I say, okay, you read this document, but do not generate. You read and digest it. Then once it is done, then I ask it step-by-step questions. Okay, now give me a summary of this. So like that. Or you can give everything in one prompt. So when you're writing large prompts or huge, like long prompts, you can use a Word document or something else and write that prompt and copy and paste it there, so that you can, like, it's a chat box. No, it's hard to see what you have write about, right? So if you want to write a long prompt, then you can write it in a Word document and copy and paste it. So that series of actions you have to give properly, and like you should you should tell it directly. Like it cannot assume, right? It's an artificial intelligence, not real intelligence. So it cannot assume what you are thinking. So you have to tell it directly. This is what I want. You have to tell your expectations. You have to define your expectations. Like even when you are working, I have been telling this some of you. When something is assigned to you, always think of what is the objective out of this. What is the objective of this person for giving me this work? Likewise, you have to tell your objective to whatever the generative tool you're using. Let's say you are asking it to like you want to write a social media post. So you have to tell it that I want to write a social media post about this. So then you are giving it the information, and maybe you have to tell him that, okay, assume you are me and I have to post this on LinkedIn. Like different platforms, we use different ways of telling things, right? On Facebook, you can be very funny and like funny and playful, and you can write different, like those kinds of posts. But on LinkedIn, you become kind of professional, right? So in that way, you have to tell what your expectations are. So this is one of the frameworks. There are many other frameworks. You can go and check these on Google, or even you can ask this from ChatGPT or Gemini Cloud, so that it will give you more information about this. So then let's come to the next question. What is the important? Why, Imandi, why validation is important? All talked about, okay. Okay, validation. So let me quickly tell you. So this is where real intelligence comes in, right? For the prompting you want, but validation also you need real intelligence. Let's say you ask me to write an article. Now you have to read, right? Read and refine it and validate the response. Otherwise, it might give you a wrong answer, right? It might give you a wrong sometimes. These generative AIs, they actually generate things that is not actually there. Let's say you want to write a literature review and you ask it to, okay, fine, write some information about this. So if it cannot find information, it generates information. So be careful. And this validating is very important because anything you get out of generative AI, you have to read and validate it. If you're not sure whether this is correct, whether this is okay, then you cannot use it. That's one of the main thing you have to remember. Validation is very important. You have to always check the accuracy, relevancy, whether it has any sensitive information, whether it has any wrong information. So, and you have to, like, whether the context is okay, whether, like, let's say if it gives you some wrong information about some, let's say it says, okay, this person is dead, but the person is not actually dead, like that. Those kinds of mistakes, like generative AI can do mistakes, so make sure you validate your response, otherwise do not ever use it. So don't, like, if I give you something to do and don't tell, okay, I got this out of chat. When I say, okay, what you have done is wrong, do not come and tell me this is from ChatGPT. You cannot do that. You have to validate. I want you to keep in your mind when you are using, like, prompting and validating, you have to keep in your mind. So now this is a recap of what we did. But the other day we did some documents, we analyzed documents, and now we are into creating documents. I gave group works the other day to everyone to do. So now let's rearrange the groups. So Lakmal can work with Imandi and Ashwini. You will work with Andrea, right? Shall we finalize the guideline? I asked you to do a proposal. You were working with Imesha. Chamika, let's put Chamika into what? Let's put him into email guideline work. Let's see what technical people can give input when it comes to emails. Chamika can join their group. Like the other day, I have assigned group work to everyone. Nisha's group started working on a petty cash guideline and a policy. Andrea's group started working on an email guideline for Learn. And Lakmal's group, the other day we tested some data analytics using workshop data analysis using generative AI. But today, we are going to do a workshop proposal, because that day we used data that was already, we have analyzed those data. So we tested with them. So today you can start, we have a workshop coming. So you can start working on a workshop proposal with Lakmal. He knows what to include. So work with him, and I will come to you two, and I'll show you how to personalize your ChatGPT. Meanwhile, can you all also share your previous prompting on Menti, the previous ones? The others also, can you share your prompt link here, the other group, and the end result as well? So I have another question to ask from the recap session. For those who have joined the previous sessions as well, you can think about both sessions and give your responses, whether you wanted anything else to discuss, whatever the things you wanted to discuss more about. If we are going to do another session, like, just think what, like, let's say, like, you wanted to discuss more about something, you had something in mind when you were asked to join the workshop. So if there's anything that you wish that we talked about more, please include here. So we can see whether we can do another session, or we can find someone who is good at that to do another session. Maybe we can ask Apara to do a session on automations, right, about Monday.com or something. So think about if you wanted anything you wish that I have talked more about, or we have discussed more about, you can put here, and put your prompt link here as well. The third one, Chamika and Imandi, you can refer the original AI Leap meeting on YouTube. It is in our YouTube channel. So actually go and listen, because there are a lot of real world examples discussed there, because the APU team, they are also extensively use AI. So you can listen to it and see, like they have, there are a lot of real world examples they have experienced, lot of experiences they have shared. So go and listen to it as well. So there, like you can like broaden your vision, and you can like if you have any negative woe, if you are worried about using Gen AI, then you can maybe like make have a attitude shift by listening to it. So you can, our YouTube channel, like, this has all the 8 workshop videos, or even the other workshop videos. So you can watch this and listen what were discussed there actually. The other things like prompting and all, also you can listen what they are saying, and you can broaden your knowledge and use Gen AI to make your lives better. Even those who have not participated that workshop, you can go and listen, because I would recommend at least listening to what they are discussing there. So, and even some examples shown there, so that you can improve yourself. And on the other hand, you can anyway talk to me about anything you want to discuss. Like if you want, like we can collectively, we can find solutions, because I'm also not an expert. Like I was also learning by using these things. So you also can do the same, and we can discuss if you have any issues. Even like when we are doing things, we know we tend to find things new. Maybe we find, okay, maybe ChatGPT cannot do, like we also can learn that it cannot does this as good as me. We can even learn that. So if you have anything, talk to me. We can discuss. So apart from this, that I hope like you two have learned something, because you just joined today. The other day we discussed most of the things. Ethics in AI that we could not discuss. Actually, this is also another discussing topic. Like this is a topic that is discussed in the world. It's actually about how, for me, like I just let be quick. For me, it's like how we operate, right? So if I am more ethical, moral person, then I'd be more ethical there, right? So it's like that. Other than that, if you are like the other day we discussed, it is not nice to upload photos of other people there, right? Maybe personal details of other people. Like if you are uploading your details, that's okay, but don't do that to other people. Those are ethical and more ethical things. And even these AIs, they are also trained to do such things. They might refuse to do things like that. If you, let's say, you go and ask to manipulate a photo, maybe it refuses to do that. We didn't try those things. So I think it's in us now, but with time they will like keep, like these are also developed by people. They are trained by people. They have a large, like the other day we discussed, right? They have a lot of large data sets given to them. These things, these are already there. They are trained on different ethical context. That's why even when you are like, that's why I was telling, when you are doing, when you're working with ChatGPT and those things, try to give the Sri Lankan context to it, so that it will be trained, because like the number of users are very low when we compare Sri Lanka to other huge countries. So we need to train it. So when you are using it, try to give the Sri Lankan context. So otherwise we'll be considered as India or country closer to us. How train and AI. That let's try to discuss this later. But like I was going to each of you and telling you different things. Like you can even like just giving you small examples. You can show it the final version you are using so that it knows to use it in the next one. So let's research about this. I'll also look more into these things. Is anything else you want to include? Actually, what we are doing, it is actually training from what we are doing. If you go and see, I show you the memory, right? There's a huge memory it keeps about us. Each and everything we tell it, it keeps it as a memory. So what we actually, the things we do, we ask to do, we tell it to change, to refine those things, it is already training from us. That is what is done. And this data, ChatGPT, I think April 2023 is the last data set it has, but it told me that it can grab data from the web. But I was also telling you can use Gemini if you want real-time data because it is from Google, so it is powered by Google search. Actually, we are training it now, right? When we are asking it questions, when we ask it to change, then it is when we are asking to be more human. So we are training it to become more human. We are training our ChatGPT to become us, right? Become our assistant, act like us. So, and there are those GPTs I showed you, right? Different GPTs are there. So for different works, like there are paraphrasing GPTs, humanoid GPTs you can use. Specifically, when we are writing emails, specifically try to ask it to act as a human, no act as you. Otherwise, like even when you read an email, we know, okay, this is from GenAI, right? We can feel that. Still, we feel it, but it's okay. But let's make it more human so that other people will feel the personalization. Otherwise, okay, he has like if like we can get the feeling that okay, this is from ChatGPT, but it's okay to have that feeling, but let's make it more human so that people will have this personal touch. Like when most of the times ChatGPT starts email with but I hope this email finds you well. So that is the common phrase that it uses, right? You can change it. I usually remove it because like when we it is okay if we send it to someone new, but when we are sending the same email to the same person, we don't have to say it every time. Maybe we can ask how like these are not GenAI. I think these are common knowledge. If it is for a person we know, we can ask how are you. Like if we are writing a person after a long time, like when you are working, we build relationships with even our customers, right? We like when we are talking to one person continuously, we have a kind of a connection with that person. So then we can ask, okay, how are you? How have you been? It is a long time. Like that, you can change that. So Andrea knows a lot. Like she writes a lot of emails now for herself and for Chance. So that is where real intelligence coming in, right? ChatGPT doesn't know that we know this person from a long time. You can tell that. Yeah, I know this person from a long time. I have been doing business with this person for a long time. Write an email. So maybe then it will tell, okay, how are you? It is after an age as I'm talking to you. Maybe it changes. That's where real intelligence coming in. So use your intelligence and take as much as possible use from generative AI for our permanent employees. We have given the opportunity, we have learn has paid for your ChatGPT so that you can do things as quick as possible and as efficient as possible so that you have time for your personal improvement and professional improvement. So then shall we finish this? Let's try to learn more about this. Let me also try to learn more about this. And if you have time, go and have a look at this workshop. Actually, like listening to their personal experiences is also good for your understanding because these people, as I said, these people are extensively using generative AI. Thank you very much for joining. So remember to validate whatever you are getting out of generative AI. So thank you all. Thank you very much for coming. I'll share a response to like Google Sheet to give your responses. So please fill it. I am going to need it for different reasons. Even we can improve some and introduce more workshops in future based on our work, like learn work. Like I also customize this original AI Leap presentation based on what we do. So the presentation is shared in the group. You to also refer to the presentation as well. Refer to the presentation as well, and if you have anything you want to ask from me, ask so that I can help you. So thank you all very much for joining.